Welcome to the Bad Crypto Podcast. I'm Joel. He's Travis Wright, and I am playing Mario Brothers now.
Welcome to the show, folks. We appreciate you tuning in. As always, we would not do this without you because you are the sunshine of our lives. Minute Maid.
Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking games today. In the past, we have featured our friends from Animoca Brands crushing it in the gaming world, and Gala Games is going to be the feature today. We are working with these guys as well, and we're working with them for a reason. Not just because we're advisors. We're advising them because we believe what they're doing is leading the way. Along with our sponsors who are leading the way at Anytask.com. It's a freelance marketplace, allows freelancers to sell digital tasks and earn cryptocurrency. It's Electronium, ETN. No need for a bank account, no fees for sellers. Check them out today, either if you're a vendor and want to sell your skills, or you're looking for somebody to do a skill for you, especially if you're like trying to get, artwork done or music or something like that. Go to badco.in/anytask and check them out.
We love Electronium, and we also love Gala Game. Let's get to the interview with Jason Brink, CMO, and John Oswald, President of Gala Games.
Well, a short time ago, we brought you one of the companies that we think is going to be and is a contender to really lead the way in blockchain gaming. That was Robbie Young from Animoca Games. Today, we're pleased to bring to you a couple more guys from another project that we think you're going to be hearing about for quite a long time. They are setting the stage to really be a leader and dominate in the space. We are working with them actually as advisors. We love what they're doing. And one of the guests is actually a repeat guest and a friend of the show from another project he was with, Mr. Jason Brink, who is the CMO of Gala Games. Jason, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How about you guys?
Always good to see you, my friend. And also with us, we have the president of Gala Games, Mr. John Oswald. John, welcome to Bad Crypto.
Hey guys, thanks very much. Happy to be here.
The website is gala.games, and there's a lot going on here. In fact, it looks like you guys just updated your website since the last time I looked, and you've got multiple games going on with a lot of players. You've got Townstar, you've got a new tower defense game called Fortified, you've got another game that is, I think, in development right now called Echoes of Empire, and then your fantasy RPG, Mirandus. Jason, are you totally overwhelmed with all the things you got going on?
Yeah. There is a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Every day kind of begins by waking up, looking at my schedule, screaming, injecting coffee into my veins, and running at full speed until the end of the day when my endocrine system collapses and I become just a ball of collapsed material on the floor. It's great though. I love it. Every day is a new adventure, and we do have so much coming to the platform, but it doesn't feel like work. And I think that John would probably back me on that.
Yeah, this is it's like a make hay when the sun is shining environment, which is just quite invigorating as we look at all the opportunities that we have. And just the stuff that is out there now is just the tip of the iceberg for what we have coming. Frankly, we've just got great leadership, and we're able to scale externally with great partners. So it's with everybody owning outcomes and having aligned objectives across the ecosystem, a lot of stuff gets done. A lot of stuff comes in and is looking good because we've set the right expectations.
So I'm curious about this. I want to hit you right out of the gate with this one. So you got 4 games, it looks like right now: Townstar, Mirandus, Fortified, and Echoes of Empire. What's the process for sort of onboarding a new game? Are you guys got game ideators out there? Because these aren't games that are on any other platform. These look like original games on your end. So how's that game creation process taking place?
So right now, the way we're thinking of this is early days of a new platform with a new platform innovation. So we can't really say we know what genres, what type of games. And although we have a very strong opinion on how NFTs should be integrated into a game, all of that stuff is very new also. So we're primarily focused on finding great developers to work with that are going to make high production quality games that work, games that have great system design across genres, and are just starting to look at that from a 50,000 foot view and say, okay, what genres don't we have covered here? What do we want to go for? And then let's find some developers that are good in those specific genres and get great games made.
No, I was just going to say, I think that one of the important parts of our process is that we begin everything from looking at it from the perspective of what makes an awesome game and how can we bring an awesome game to the platform. And then once we have accomplished that, it's okay, now how do we introduce blockchain into this awesome game? So very much from a game first perspective.
Which I think is super important, right? You have to bring the quality. Now, one of the things that I find particularly interesting is that one of your team members that helped found is Eric Schirmeyer, and Eric, if you don't recognize the name, is a gaming legend. He was the co-founder of Zynga. And Zynga, of course, Farmville, and then so many other games afterwards that really pioneered and led the way for social gaming, right? And so the vision here has to be a big vision. You don't build Farmville to the level you have, create Zynga, and then go, all right, let's make something small. It's got to be a huge vision. So maybe what is that vision for Gala, John?
So it is a big vision, and we don't primarily think of ourselves as just a game developer. We're developing some big games. Mirandus is a big title, obviously, that we're going to be bringing out. But a lot of that work started to get the flywheel moving and bring games to our platform. Ultimately, the vision for the company, I think of us looking something like Valve at the end of this, where we're a game developer. We're building some of the best games for our platform, and we know how to do that. But we're also there to publish games with the Gala blockchain backing it up, have a marketplace and a community of folks that are looking to purchase and play. And right now we're hitting the pavement doing biz dev to find great developers and sign up these games. But ultimately, we want that to be self-service. You download the SDK, you sign the business terms, you submit your game for promotion on Gala. Once the flywheel's moving, it just becomes its own entity, moving that way.
I'm curious. You mentioned a bit earlier about NFTs and how you said that you got a clear definition of how NFTs should be used within games. And I think, between Joel and I, we love NFTs. We've minted a ton of them, and we're big fans of NFTs. We got a show called The Nifty Show. So I'm curious, how are you guys going to be implementing NFTs within your ecosystem, and are you going to be building out a marketplace specifically for NFTs and items or whatnot? How's it go?
Well, there's a few different sides to this. I think that for us, we look at NFTs first from a perspective of utility. How can we take an NFT and give it a usefulness in a game? Now, there's a few different ways that you can do that. The first thing that we can do is, you look at a game and you find the obvious things that are conducive to that. So for example, let's say you've got a first-person shooter, right? Now, with this first-person shooter, you're going to have various guns, you're going to have various skins, you're going to have various buffs that you may want to have as NFTs and have implemented in your ecosystem. So that's the first part. The second part is you can actually use NFTs in a way that is entirely cross game. So you could, for example, in Townstar, it would be entirely possible for us to take somebody else's NFTs that exist out there in the wild and say, you know what, we're going to go ahead and give everybody who has a CryptoKitty and a cat that shows up inside of their town that wanders around. We have this great flexibility, and this is only possible because of the amazing open nature of the blockchain space and how collaborative and wonderful everybody is. So there's a lot of different ways that we look at NFTs, and those are a couple of them.
Well, another way you look at them is as something physical. I'm holding here in my hand a badass, I think it's crystal, right? It's a crystal
yeah.
rectangle. It's a box, and there's this character inside of it. I'm not exactly sure who he is, but I think he's from Mirandus. And then
that's actually the farm bot from Townstar.
Oh, this is the farm bot. Okay, great.
That's
He's got his little pickaxe. Yeah, you guys can't see this because we're talking on video, but you just get to listen to us and imagine what the cool farm bot looks like.
Beautiful.
And there is like some sort of code here on the side. So, and this thing is substantial, right? This is a couple pounds, right? That I'm holding here. Probably the coolest NFT I've held in my hand.
Yeah, those are badass. And in their number, there's only 100 of them or something, right? And are they tied to the blockchain on the Gala network?
Yep. Absolutely. So that crystal, it has that code in there. If you were to go to our website and put that code in, it would redeem the digital NFT side of that would go directly to your account.
So if I do that, is it mine forever, or could, if I wanted to sell this to somebody, not saying I would because it's so badass, it's probably going on my shelf forever, but if I redeem the code, then what happens?
Right now, due to the fact that it's Ethereum based, the NFT wouldn't travel along with it. So if you sold the crystal to somebody, they have a crystal and you have an NFT. So they're not actually linked like that. There are some discussions about creating an actual linkage so that the digital NFT follows along with the physical NFT. Obviously, if somebody moves the digital NFT, there's no way we can force the crystal to move, obviously. But yeah, there's some thoughts in that general direction.
That's great. What are some of your thoughts on the NFT scenario over there, John?
Well, one of the key aspects of our business here is that we're building free-to-play games, and that's an industry I've been in a long time. So I started when I met Eric. I met him in 2009 at Zynga, and we really went on that journey together. From those beginnings on the Facebook platform and from mobile where it lives now, the kind of dirty secret about the whole free-to-play industry is that a very small portion of the players pay at all. Maybe that's kind of well known, but when you really dig into that, it's like 0.2% of a player base will drive half the revenue. So you're talking about players who believe in a game, love a game, to invest an enormous amount of time, consistent play, and money into a game's ecosystem.
And those big daddy whales coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the big blues, man, that we're all hunting out there. But at the end of it, it's always bothered me about it is that's not an aligned objective. It's really a broken contract with those players. So ultimately, they only have a license to those items, right? And if they ever wanted to get out of the game, their option is to break their terms of service, and maybe they could sell their account for literally pennies on the dollar, if that. The way that we think of it is that let's align those objectives with players. So let the NFTs that are going to be in the games are things that when you invest your time and money into them, when you improve them through the way that you played the game and the consistency that you played the game, those are yours. Those are your assets. And if the game community grows and the developer and the publisher does well, you could do well too. You could either keep playing or you have things that have real value. So when we think of how to integrate NFTs, it's really thinking about for the developer, how would you monetize this game if it were a microtransaction game? And then take those things, those economies, those items. Let's give the ability for the players to create and control those economies themselves. Let's let the players invest in things like characters and buildings and upgrades, and those become real assets for them that they get to decide what to do with. And if the game community grows, it's a great game, and more players come in. There's more demand for all of those assets. So that's the way we think about it. We want aligned objectives between developers, publishers, and players. Really unlock the value of free to play for all gamers. We got 50% of the 2 billion gamers out there are playing just on PC. Those guys are not touching free to play. So we think we have we can bring this model that works and is fun and offer real value to all of them.
Well, like all chains, they are operated by various nodes. And you guys are actually giving people the opportunity to have a Gala node by purchasing a license to it. So maybe whichever of you is the more technical of the two, jump in and tell us, what is a Gala node, how does one operate it, and what are the benefits of having a license for a node?
Sure. So basically, you can think of the Gala Games ecosystem nodes as being the thing that supports the entire network. There are only going to be 50,000 founders nodes in existence. These are the nodes that process all of the transactions, that store all of the data for the NFTs. A lot of times when you have an NFT and you hear little horror stories about this, somebody buys something on OpenSea and then their NFT quote unquote disappears, but that's just because the single centralized server that hosts that image has disappeared. So they lose access to it. We're building out an interplanetary file system that basically makes it possible to have your NFTs live on this distributed network of nodes. We strive for decentralization in every case, and that's what these nodes serve to do. By operating a Gala Games node, you have the ability to have some say in how the ecosystem itself develops. We put proposals before the nodes for bringing new games onto the platform, but you also receive, for operating a node, you receive some Gala every day as part of the daily minting, and then you also have the potential to receive NFTs when NFTs are dropped to the network. And one of the things that's really cool about that is that absolutely everything that comes on the network has to go through the nodes first. So nothing gets sold without first going to the nodes, and nothing gets created on the network without first going through the nodes. So there's always a percentage that ends up going to the node operators. And in fact, just tonight, and obviously this is probably not going to be current when this actually airs, but tonight we're dropping a new series of exemplars from Mirandus. These are essentially the super-powered avatars for the game, and they go first to the node holders. So there's going to be 55 different node operators out there tonight that get an exemplar for operating their node. And so, yeah. It's a super cool ecosystem, and I'm very, very happy with the way that it is growing and developing.
That sounds beautiful. It sounds like it might not be a bad idea to score a node. Like, say if you have a node, is it a cloud-based node, or is it actually running on your computer? Because a lot of folks out there just have a laptop or whatever, and maybe don't have a super fancy computer. How does actually those nodes work?
That's the cool thing about it, is that we are not at all, proof of work in the Ethereum/Bitcoin sense based. So you can operate a node on a fairly low-powered laptop or desktop computer without any difficulty at all. So you just hook it up, log into it, and it does its thing. You need to leave it up for at least 6-7 hours a day in order to qualify for whatever the drops are. But you can have it run in the background on your computer, and it doesn't degrade your performance or eat up a ton of bandwidth or anything like that. It's a very, very lightweight, very lightweight process.
So say for example, if you have a node, like how much Gala over the course of X amount of time was one person earned? Because I noticed it looks like to score a node now, it looks like it's close to 1 million Gala, and then maybe. What does that look like in terms of earning potential by having a node?
Sure. So obviously this isn't something that can be discussed going forward, because the amount of Gala that you receive is dependent on the number of nodes that are operating at any given time. If suddenly a whole bunch more nodes turned on tomorrow, then the amount of Gala that gets released, which is a static amount every day, which gets distributed to all of those nodes in operation, would then decrease, per node. But looking backwards, I can tell you what it was yesterday.
Sure. And let's timestamp this so that people know. Yesterday was June 13th, 2021. So point of reference here.
So you can go to our website at app.gala.games, and if you click on nodes, you can see details for the distribution. So it looks like yesterday operating one node would have gotten you 772 gala.
And just so people understand, of course, you never know. Crypto goes up, crypto goes down.
Right.
But currently, as of today, one gala is a penny, right? So you can do the math on that and see how much you're earning, for a day. But it doesn't just get you the gala. It could also potentially get you NFTs.
Right. We had a really cool instance a couple weeks ago. We've been doing these drops of Mirandus exemplars, and the exemplars are they're in 5 different backgrounds. So you have some that are elves, some that are dwarves, some that are halflings, humans, orcs, these sorts of things. And the elves in the world of Mirandus are very, very, very rare. Okay, like insanely rare. And so each of these elf exemplars runs about $5,000, and one of those gets dropped out to the node, the node network. And we had a community member in Korea. Dude was operating one node. He had bought it, was pretty happy with it, and all of a sudden, boom, he gets an elf exemplar, and he showed up all over social media and was talking about it and things like that in the Korean cacao community and things like that. And it's really cool to watch that sort of thing happen, to see somebody get something that is so rare dropped in a random drop like that.
That's cool. And it looks like you can have multiple nodes if you want. Because I'm looking at the global distribution data. There's one Yahoo 65C who's getting so much gala every day. He's all like, I'm the gala king up in here.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know. I haven't seen him around in a long time. I do know who he is.